Hello, I miss seeing you all in person. It's nice to be able to make these videos, but I really am waiting for the day when we can get back together again, and I hope it won't be too far in the future. This weekend, we're celebrating the Feast of the Holy Trinity. The Trinity is a mystery. We speak of one God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Three persons in one God, but we really don't know what that means. It's not easy to understand. We really wouldn't even know anything about it. It's not something we can reason to, that we can figure out by research. We wouldn't know anything about the Trinity except that Jesus revealed the Trinity to us. For me, one of the most helpful ideas about the Trinity came from a retreat that I attended one time. And the leader of the retreat was speaking about the Trinity and their different roles. And he said, long ago, before Jesus, the Trinity was in heaven, and they were looking down upon the earth and seeing all the people, the good people, the bad people, and noticing the sufferings of so many people, the wars, the conflicts, the greed, the dishonesty, the lack of forgiveness. People were suffering in so many ways. And the Trinity were talking among themselves, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, and they said, we have to do something. One of us has to go down and redeem them. And so they decided to send the Son. And the Son became Jesus, was born as a human, and came down and redeemed humanity, redeemed the people of God, gave them new meaning, a new life. I'd like you to look at a political cartoon. The Trinity saw the sufferings of God's people and sent the Son of God to earth to become Jesus and to help the people with their sufferings. The cartoon says that these people who are experiencing the suffering, all the black people with the signs, no one is paying attention to them, but rather all of the news agencies are focusing on rioting and looting and violence and not really attending to the issues that are the cause of all the problems. Today, I think the Trinity sees the suffering of God's people again. So many forms of that suffering. We're certainly all aware of the suffering caused by the pandemic. But we also know of all the ongoing wars and conflicts, the natural disasters, the problems caused by the destruction of the environment, the problems caused by so many millions of people on the move throughout the world. In the past, the Trinity saw the sufferings of the people, and they sent Jesus. And Jesus came and he redeemed us. Jesus is not going to come the same way again. He has already redeemed us. Maybe now the Trinity is sending us. The Trinity is saying, Jesus has offered redemption, a new way of life, and now you have to make it real for all of God's people. That was really the message of the Ascension that we celebrated 2 weeks ago. Jesus met with the disciples on the mountain, and he handed over to them his mission of redemption. Today, we're thinking more and more, it's much in the news, perhaps much on all of our minds, particularly those of us from the United States, about the killing of George Floyd, the unarmed black man who was killed by some policemen in the United States. It's pointed out the problems of black people and perhaps of other people of color too, problems that they have suffered for so long. But it's done it in a different way. Many other young black men have been killed unjustly in the past, and people got upset about that. There was a certain amount of outrage, but society seemed to get over it in a few weeks or a few months, and then things basically went back to normal. But the killing of George Floyd seems to have touched people, seems to have touched society in a different way. And again, not only in the United States, but in other countries where they're having, disturbances and having peaceful protests all around the world. People, I think, at this point are starting to understand there are real problems for black people and other people of color, real problems of injustice, of inequality, of discrimination, of oppression. And they're starting to appreciate this has been going on for centuries, and they're starting to understand how that has ruined the lives, the dreams, the hopes of so many generations of people. Maybe now on this feast of the Trinity this year, we have to recognize that the Trinity is sending us to bring about the redemption of God's people. The love of the Father, the guidance of the Spirit, the courage of Jesus are with us, but it's up to us. So what do we do? Like responding to the killing of George Floyd, the inequality that so many black people experience in the United States, and here in Cambodia, so many other countries. Well, the first thing I think we need to do is to listen to the black people, to listen to those who have gone through these experiences, and to learn from them. What does it really mean? What happened to you? What's your history? How has it affected you? What has it done to your life? And after we have learned from them, then we can discuss how do we respond to that? What are we called to do as disciples of Jesus? And then we can make a plan how to respond. And then we start speaking out. We start doing something. All of us can do something. Some of us can do more dramatic things, but all of us can do something. Even small things are really important. Maybe our racist uncle, maybe we've always just avoided talking to him because we don't want to create a difficult situation. But maybe we try again and say, have you know about this situation? And ask, how is it affecting him? We can all find ways to respond even in small different ways. And in all of this process, we can pray and ask for the guidance of the Spirit to be with us. The Trinity is with us. God has made us, the book of Genesis says, in His image. And it says God gave us His own life. That's what Jesus taught us. And we're formed as one family, sharing one life, sharing the love of one God. And so we're all God's children. We're all brothers and sisters. And that's what we need to recognize. And that's what will give us the motivation to really make redemption real, to make the mission of Jesus something real in our world today. We're all God's children. We're all equal. We're not us and them. We're just us. And we need to live and act like that.